Hello, I'm back. This is a pretty big update that's in the works, and I am here to show you a pretty cool feature of it, and that's going to be more accurate falls of these Axis allies on the Eastern Front. If you don't know, Bulgaria, Romania, the ones we're going to cover in this video, were couped and then occupied by the Soviets. They did not hold out to the last tile like someone like Germany would, so I wanted to represent that because it's not really represented, especially with Bulgaria. I thought it'd be fun. Now, I'm going to show you this off by playing as the Soviets mostly and just crushing them. As you can see, it is 1939. I cheated all this in, so expect more bugs than usual. Without further ado, let's begin. The first thing I want to show you is notice something about Bulgaria. Bulgaria, we're not fighting them, which is accurate. In World War II, Boris, this guy right here, did not really want any part in the Soviet war. He did not care about that. He cared about getting territory over here, and in that he did very well. I wanted to represent that because if you've ever played Hoist 4, you know Bulgaria is just in your faction in the war, like anyone else. So I thought it'd be cool to represent that. So now that is represented. But they are still at war with the Allies, which is cool. I might be wrong about that. They might not have been at war with anybody, but I'm pretty sure they were at war with the Allies and just not the Comintern. But I added this national spirit here. They only get it after Germany declares war on the Soviets, so they don't join the Soviet war, but they'll attack the Allies before that. And it seems to be working pretty good. So that's the first noticeable thing that's different. Now, we are going to try to get Romania first, and then we can move on to Bulgaria. So how to coup Romania, you're probably wondering. Well, the first thing is to have Antonescu in power, or have them fascist, although I've turned that off just for this experiment, just because it's easier. And then you're going to want to invade them. I believe the Soviets actually got to around this area, or over here, before they actually, surrendered. It wasn't all the way at Bucharest or whatever, so that's about the same amount you need to get them. But also you need to inflict a good number of casualties. That way, they don't instantly give up. Like when you first start the war, if they did not have troops on the border and these guys just grab that. That hopefully would prevent something like that from happening. But again, this is a 1939 start date that we've tweaked around with, so expect some bugs, but I am going to show you this. And when they do coup me, I will show you the event that Romania gets, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a second. But let's just try to push in. But I was working on this. I'm actually quite excited to work on this because it opens up a lot. Because not only do the collapse of these Eastern Balkan nations affect the war, but they also are intertwined with all of the partisan efforts. So I can get to work with the partisan efforts pretty soon. Those that were in Greece, those that were in Yugoslavia especially. The Slovakian uprising would be really cool to do. Stuff like that is coming soon, which I'm really excited about. We are getting attacked by the Germans, but I did take away all their units, so hopefully they don't fight too hard. So we're just going to move in here. And then another cool thing is that after this happens, it spawns a white piece, first of all, and then it takes the borders that the Soviets did take from Romania historically, and then Romania actually joins the Allies, not the Comintern, and they fight alongside the Allies, at least for a bit. When we get into post-war stuff, we'll talk about the 1946, or it might have been 1947 coup d'etat. Alright, and then now these events do take a little bit to... Oh, there we go. Alright, so now here's the situation. Romania is free. They are democratic. King Michael did his coup, which is historical. And now they're in the Allies and they're fighting the Axis, which is pretty neat. But we still have military access as the Soviets, which is, of course, very important. That way we can continue our war efforts and we don't get locked out. That's something that would be definitely a problem. And there is a news event tied to this. Here we go. Coup in Romania. You can read that for a second. Alright, and before we keep going and show Bulgaria's situation, I do want to tell you about the events. I'll put them on the screen right now. So this is the event that Romania gets. It's just talking about King Michael's coup, and you have two options. The first option is the historical one. You let the coup happen. And the second one has you actually resist it. And when you resist it, you'll become a puppet of the Germans, and you will get modifier. You'll get a national spirit. I think I can put it on screen as well. And that national spirit is fighting a coup. And it's pretty bad. you can see it hurts your defense, or it hurts your attack. Sorry. So it's hard to get your territory back that you've lost so far. But of course, the benefit is that you're not white peace. You're still on the Axis, all that. But you had that national spirit for like 100 days, which could be make or break when the Soviets are getting this close to Eastern Europe. It's pretty much over. But you can help with that. You can send, I'll put the event on screen right now. You can send an event to Germany. Say, hey guys, help. And they can choose to help or not. If they choose to help, it's going to cost them some manpower, which might just not be reasonable at this point. But if they do decide to help, it'll cut away most of the time it takes to get rid of that national spirit, and you'll be back on your feet, and you'll have dealt with that period of instability, and you'll be better off in the end. Now, of course, they can also deny it, and you'll just be stuck. But that's just like an alt historical path if you don't want to, instantly surrender as soon as the Soviets actually get to your doorstep, because, well, that's not fun. And Bulgaria has something similar. We'll show that. Now Bulgaria is really pretty much the same. They have a communist coup, although they still have the monarchy afterwards. I believe it's 1946 when they toss that in favor of a republic, and then you really get them being under heavy communist influence. That's the government I think they have all the way up until the late 80s, early 90s, or whenever it fell. But of course, that's after World War II, so we'll focus on that when we get to the post-war stuff. But still, that's still represented, and they still lose their territory. This, it's really over. I could have given this straight to Germany, this Macedonian land that Bulgaria loses when they switch sides. I could have given it to the Government of National Salvation. I could have made it its own thing. I've decided for now to give it to the Government of Salvation. That may be the wrong choice. I don't know. Let me know how you feel, if you hate it or if you don't care. It really doesn't matter because around this time you'll be getting eaten by partisans anyway. But that's what I've done with that. And then after they switch sides, we'll be free to get Thrace back as well, which will be cool. But let's just get here. And as you can see, they're still not at war with us. But now that we've couped Romania, now that Romania is out of our way, we should get another event here soon that's going to say, okay, now it's time to put Bulgaria to bed. They're not at war with us, but we still need to occupy them because it would be stupid not to. It's not secure to leave them out in the open like that. So that's what we're going to do. And you can see they do have this national spirit. Soviet occupation. This is going to have their communism support go up. Of course, so like I said, we had the 1947 or 1946 coup. But this is just kind of to show that, yeah, they're in the Allies, but they're not free. I can't have them be in the Allies and be a puppet of the Soviets because they have their own faction and it's a whole thing. But that still is there to represent that, which I think is cool. There we go. We've gotten our Bulgaria event. So, crushing the Bulgarians. The German ally of Bulgaria has not yet declared war on us, and we have our newfound position in the Balkans. It seems fair to crush them now and secure that front. Let's do it. So, we're finally at war with Bulgaria, even though we've been in the Axis this whole time. We can get our boys here, and let's try to crush them. Let's try to take Sofia. We've pushed through, and it's the same deal. We just gotta inflict some casualties, get their surrender progress up, and that should do them in. And like I said before, Bulgaria has the same option. They can deny the coup and instead get that national spirit and just hold out for like 80, 100 days, and it will be over with. Or they can do the historical choice. The AI will usually do the historical choice, if you were wondering. And here we go, Fatherland Front coup. With Soviet forces advancing and the fascist government collapsing, a coalition of communist, agrarians, and other anti-fascist groups known as the Fatherland Front has staged a successful coup, blah, 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 blah. The monarchy's been sidelined, the country now turns towards Moscow. Alright, and there you have it. Like I said earlier, their Macedonian territory gets yanked up by the Germans, the Government of National Salvation. Yanks it up, now it looks like a really cursed Serbia. And now, the Bulgarians are also in the Allies. So there we go. And it's the same thing. They have military access from the Soviet Union. Same deal. But very cool. Let me know what you think. That's really it. That's all I really want to show you today. Next up is probably going to be finishing the Vatican. And then after that is going to be partisan mechanics, which I'm very excited for. But yeah, that's about it. Please subscribe if you like what you saw. And like the video, it helps me out a lot. There will be a link in the description, and in the comments, hopefully, if I remember. And it will have a link to the mod and a link to the Discord server as well. If you join the Discord server, you can see teasers early and play multiplayer games with us. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's about it. See ya.